Hello, welcome back to Klever Stocks. I'm Kelvin, your education wing host. So today we will be looking at some of the economic data and understand how we can analyze all this data to help our stock investment. So today we are looking into the consumer data, which is like basically how we see like whether the economy is having the consumption, whether it's good or not. So today we are going to look into the strong consumer spending despite some of the economic slowdowns, and also here are some of it why. So the example that we use here is on 2023, where the issue was high inflation and also very tight monetary policy, which means that the interest rate is high, okay, and also the inflation is high. So as we all know, when high inflation is there, to cope with this inflation, then we need to increase the interest rate to reduce the amount of money flow in the market so that people can spend lesser, so the inflation would not go up higher. So basically at that time, like with the government, okay, everyone, central bank or maybe Federal Reserve, they are trying to lower down the inflation rate. If I'm not mistaken, end of 2023, the inflation rate in US is about 3%. So their target is always at 2%. So in order to go down like about 1.5 to 1.3% is not an overnight thing. So it takes a very long time for the inflation to go down to 2%. Maybe after a few months or for the first quarter, they can only go down like 0.2% or maybe 0.3% max. So sometimes, yes, it does go down to 0.5%, but inflation rate is going down too fast is not a good thing. It's not a good sign because it could fall going down too fast and it falls under the deflation, which means that the whole economy, no one is expanding, everyone don't want to spend, just like how the Japanese economy last time, where people are less having this desire to spend. They rather keep the money under their bed and they are not putting money into their banks because the government or maybe the central bank, they are trying to get people to spend money so that in Japan they have negative interest rate. So when it's negative interest rate means that you have no point to park your money into the bank because every year you still need to pay back the bank interest. So that's why that actually shapes the whole economy. And a lot of people in Japan, they rather keep cash and use the cash, okay, they probably don't use the cash, they will keep the cash, okay, under their bed, and when they need money, then only they use the money, okay. So right now we are looking into this US side where this is exactly what is happening also with this during end of 2023, lowering prices have led to an increase in consumer shopping enthusiasm. So during that time in 2023, the Black Friday was fulfilled people's suppressed desire to consume. So basically you can see all these events, like you can say like even Valentine's Days or maybe Black Friday or maybe 8/8 sales, right? All these are actually encouraging people to spend money so that the economy can advance, okay, can be growing. So, but according to the statistics, shoppers spent a record-breaking $9.8 billion in online sales in US, an increase of 7.5% compared to last year. So, demonstrating that the strength of people consumption power. So, which means that you can see inflation rate is still high, which means all the prices, all the products and goods, okay, are high price, but people are still willing to spend. Okay, so that's why this actually put a headache to the Federal Reserve or maybe for a central bank because people are still spending, economy are still growing, which means inflation are still growing as well. So they don't want to get into the time where the economy get into hyperinflation. When it's getting into hyperinflation, then the whole economy is going to be bad because hyperinflation, which means that you need a lot more money. Probably when you want to buy groceries, you need to carry a whole truck of cash to buy groceries, okay, or maybe just to buy one candy, you need a whole stack of cash. So that's why this is why the Federal Reserve and central bank are trying to cope with this. All right. So consumer spending is a crucial component for US GDP because we all know US itself, their GDP, they basically can self-sustain. Okay, same goes to China and also Japan as well. So that's why they are focusing on a lot like, okay, their citizen, okay, or the Americans, they do a lot of consumption or buying a lot, okay, from there, then that will actually help the economy to grow or even sustain, okay. So that's why this, for the GDP, for local, okay, their internal consumption for the consumer spending actually covering about like 70% of it, of the total GDP. So that's a huge one. So imagine one day the Americans are not buying anything, are not consuming, okay, then the GDP or maybe the economy of US could actually goes down. So that's why today we have to analyze on this most important component of US economy, which is the consumption. So basically the consumption data is not saying that you have to look at consumption data of every country. So you need to understand the local consumption, okay, how much does it cover in the total GDP of that economy. So if let's say Malaysia side, we don't cover that much, okay, our GDP are mainly from the, export or maybe like tourism, all this, okay, it takes a large portion of it, then the local consumption wise is not that great, okay. But if you want to talk about economy wise, how this this big countries, not just big country that they rely on their own GDP or local consumption of the GDP. So what they do here is that because they the whole economic policy also and also the planning wise, okay, plays a really important part, okay, on how growing it is. Because like for example, we all know, okay, our government, Malaysia government has been telling us, okay, buy buatan Malaysia, buy buatan Malaysia. But why are we still not buying buatan Malaysia? The reason is very simple, because we are relying too much on import in terms of raw material or maybe in terms of final product. We have a lot of imports because it's much more cheaper to import in. And where are our local produce? Are mainly exported out to other countries. Because imagine if you can export to Singapore, you are making Singapore dollar, why not you earn Singapore dollar, right? So it's not about, from my point of view, is that it's not about you asking people buy buatan Malaysia. That's it, okay? Because like you can't just buy buatan Malaysia. We want to get something good and we want lower price as well. But the problem is people, the business, the private sector, they are selling all the local made product or local grow product to overseas, to other countries, because they have better profit margin. And left out, we don't have much for local supply. So that's why we need to import fertilizer, we need to import our rice, we need to import a lot of things, even vegetables, so we need to import. So that's why we can see, if you compare with the local products or maybe all these vegetable and stuff like that, compare it with Thailand and also Malaysia, you will find in Thailand buying all this raw material is much more cheaper than in Malaysia. So they are agriculture economy as well. We are also part of the agriculture economy. So why are we not having this? So these are the things that we have to look into it. So it's not just like, oh, we just need to look into consumption. But Malaysia side, our economy are mainly for export, okay? Agriculture or maybe like semiconductor or maybe some other culture or packaging culture or company as well. So right now, we're going to look into consumption. So maybe in the future, you might want to look into this because you might want to invest in US, right? So that's why, as a consumer, we all play a very crucial role in the economic growth, okay, through our daily purchase, because that is how we have like local consumption and it can grow the GDP. So it's not saying that we don't have the majority of it, but then we still contribute some into the GDP as well. So that's why government keep telling us to buy buatan Malaysia, right? But on the other hand, like I said just now, the story behind all those, okay, why we are not buying it, there's a lot of things that we need to talk about, okay? So the personal income outlay reports released by the US Bureau of Economic Analysis each month is the primary source of information for the analyzing consumption here. So the report consists of two parts, income and outlay. So basically is before that they even include the personal income and also personal disposable income, all right? So while later mainly refers to personal consumption expenditure. So what does it mean is that to study this consumption, the market is most concerned about changes in personal consumption expenditure, which means like how it changed, okay? Maybe 3 months back you feel that, oh, you have more money, okay? You have lesser things to pay, then you can consume more, right? you can buy, maybe you can buy more items from Shopee or maybe from TikTok or from maybe also from Lazada, right? So that's why if there are changes on this, if the personal consumption expenditure is start to reduce, means that people are not spending, are not willing to spend. So that's why this is because the consumption expenditure refer to expenses incurred by household to meet daily needs. Okay, maybe you can buy. Usually, you get a chicken, the poultry. Okay, you get a normal chicken meat, right? The poultry. But then when you feel that, oh, okay, I have slightly a bit more money, or maybe right now today, this month I feel that I want to eat more healthy, then you go for a more expensive free range chicken, right? So those are the things that they look into it. So that's why all this, it depends on the economic cycle. Like I say before, when the economy is recovering, private sector are willing to pay more to hire people. So when they are willing to pay more to hire people, then those workers or employees, they get more money. When they get more money, what do? They start to have a better standard of living. So when they have a better standard of living, instead of every day having instant noodle, they can right now afford to go for a much more, like I say, for chicken. Instead of going for normal chicken, you go for free range chicken, right? Instead of like having a normal egg, okay, grade C, grade B egg, you go for grade A egg or even omega egg, right? So those are the things that it changed. So when the market actually goes into downturn, unemployed increase because people are reducing their costs, okay, slashing the job, okay, slashing the headcounts in the company. So which means that personal income actually decrease. So income decrease, which means consumption expenditure also decline, because right now you want to eat every meal, okay, you might just want to have like a fried egg and then with rice and then with some sambar, then it's done, right? So this is how it's like. So of course, if let's say during the good economy can influence consumer, sentiment to spend, you have more money, probably you buy a little bit of branded product. Maybe upcoming next year, the Chinese New Year is coming, then you're thinking, okay, I've been working for so long, right now I got some increment, I got some saving, why not get myself a branded bag, okay, or maybe branded shirt or anything, right? So that's why this actually looks into the increase of consumer confidence, may lead to increase of the purchase of the durable products, let's say like vehicles, or maybe some like you think of changing your washing machine. Instead of like normal washing machine, you want to change it into some washing machine that it can actually have hot water, or even like have even with the dryer, that it doesn't like really spoil your shirts, right? So that's why personal consumption expenditure, okay, includes like all these durable and non-durable goods, okay, as well as also consume service as well. So maybe you have more money right now, you will, instead of going once a month for a massage, you go for every week you go for a massage, right? So, or maybe signing up a gym, okay, access. So going for gym, usually just go for gym, or maybe usually you just go for a jog in your taman, but then right now you have more money, you start to sign up for gym. So after you sign up for gym, when your lifestyle or your income gets better, what you do? You hire a personal trainer to train you to have a better one. So when you get a personal trainer, then if you have a higher standard of living, you would think that, okay, personal trainer asked me to eat more healthy, so eat more, my food consumption needs to be this and that, so you subscribe for some of the healthy meal service, okay, so that they can provide you all this, all right? So that's why durable goods usually are those that you can use very long because it's durable. Non-durable can be like clothing, footwear, or maybe like gas, okay? Instead of you pump RON 95, you pump RON 97 right now because you got a better car, you want to take good care of it. For the engine oil, instead of using like a normal one, you go for fully synthetic oil. So all these are the things that you look into it. Like services also, you can go for healthcare, transportation service. Let's say, for example, like instead of going the non-toll side, you go for the toll side. Yeah, so these are the things here. So basically, if you look into US percentage of consumer spending on goods and services, so the blue one is service, and also the goods are the orange one. So you can see, during pandemic start, we can see a lot of services actually goes down, okay? But a lot of people are going and buying goods, more of the goods. Why? Because this could be people are panic. So people are rather keeping the money and then buy for those necessity. So like maybe stock up rice or maybe cooking oil at home, right? So even during pandemic time, I even heard there's a very funny news, okay, that is going around in the social media. The wife actually bought about like maybe 2 or 5 kilo or 10 kilo of vegetable home and stuffed the whole fridge are full of the vegetable. But we all know all these are perishable goods, right? So after 1 week, all the vegetables are gone. Okay, so that's why they can't. The husband was complaining. Okay, so that's why you can see after pandemic, the economy actually changed a lot. All right, so it caused a significant shift in U.S. consumer behavior, where service expenditures such as travel, tourism, dining, and also have drastically decreased due to pandemic restriction, because all this you cannot travel. So you are buying goods, or maybe if you consider gaming is part of the service, then gaming is at that time it increased a lot. So also during that time, durable goods spending was 25% higher than in 2019. Non-durable goods spending grew by 9% only, whereas service spending slightly decreased from July 2020 to June 2021. Why? Because lockdown, everyone is not going out. So it wasn't until the second half of 2021, with the increase of nationwide vaccination rate and people are coming out, so we start to see all this service consumption start to increase. So that's why, despite the continuous market speculation about the U.S. economy declining and consumer spending decrease in 2023, we do still expect like strong expenditure driven mainly by hot labor market and rising wages, because that is the time where pandemic start to post pandemic, so everyone back to work, and then all this corporate, they are starting to hire more, they're willing to pay more, especially all those tech AI related industry. So people are coming back to spend, and also spend on leisure, on service, all this. So that's why income is a significant factor to influence the consumer spending. So who actually, what are the factors that affect the income? So like I say, the economic cycle. So which economic cycle we do see that the market or maybe the consumer will have more incomes coming in? The recovery period, because that is the time where all these corporates are hiring, because they have more money. How do they get money? From the loan, from the financial institution, they pump money into all these places, then the economy start to recover, they have more money. So when is the time where all this salary or maybe the payment are going down? Is when the market is at the peak, where you start to see like, okay, now recovery, then you start to see all those big corporates, they are slashing the headcount. And that is the time where we know market is going into a retrace or maybe a correction. So that is the time where we can allocate our stock portfolio into some other safer industry or sectors, such as like infrastructure, telecommunication, all this, or maybe commodities, related stocks. So these are the things that you can look at it at that time. All right. So always remember all this. Okay, how the stock market works actually relate to how the economy it is. So you need to understand how this economy, which cycle it is right now. Okay. So next one we have discretionary income and also disposable income as well. So some investors may be familiar with discretionary income, which is different from the disposable income by subtracting necessary expenditure. So that's why people tend to use their net income for essential products or service, such as like food, household items, or for your living, housing, and also maybe for internet. So those are the first thing that you need to settle. Then the remaining income after deducting the necessary expenditure, which is called the discretionary income, a part that earners can spend or save as they wish. You can spend on bags, or spend on luxury, you can spend on games, you can spend on traveling, or you can buy in your bank and grow the interest, or put into the stock market to grow your investment. Okay, so disposable income is related to labor market and market economic cycle, and can be used by analysts to measure the economic condition. Like I say, as income increase, demand rises, and manufacturers often increase production to meet the demand, creating new employment opportunities. Then those are the time that people can spend more. So from individual perspective, rising wages create more spending, which under low inflation circumstances creates a positive economic expansion cycle. So it's very simple. It's very easy to understand like what kind of economic cycle it is right now. Just look back into ourselves and people surrounding us. If let's say you start to see like, okay, they are getting more pay raise, and also for yourself, you find that, okay, it's much more easier to ask for a pay raise, or it's much more easier for you to change job, go into other company that you can have like increment, right, out from there. So those are the good time. But when until the time that you find that, hey, how come it's so difficult for me to find jobs, okay? But of course, you have to understand yourself first, see whether your skill is the match with the current economy, whether you are capable enough or not. If let's say you're not capable enough, then yes, it's very difficult for you to get a new job, right? So that's why you just look at surrounding, okay? Because we are living in the economy. We are part of the economy. So when we are part of the economy, so you can realize what kind of economic cycle right now and what kind of economic data you can expect in the next upcoming announcement. And then when it comes out, then you can expect where to put your stock, okay, your money in which kind of stocks, okay, all right. So I hope this one can help you guys to understand a bit more on the consumption, okay, data. And next round, I'm going to share with you guys on how inflation can have negative impact on income, all right. So thank you very much for joining. I'll see you guys again in the next session.
Klever Stock, the ultimate financial insight for everyone.